Hello, class.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
So let's take some time and just kind of like shake off our. We've been doing lunch and recess. Sometimes we get tired after lunch, so just shake that off a little bit. Can you? I know it looks silly, but thank you for cooperating. How are you feeling? Sometimes when we do things like that, it energizes our brain. It makes it easier to think. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. Okay. So, today we're going to be doing some reader's theater, but I wanted to touch base with you about a term that we've used before, but I want to make sure to refresh your brain about it. Do you remember what it means when we read something and we draw an inference?
We take a guess.
Kind of.
Like take the words around it to make sense of a word we don't know.
Yeah, it's like if we're reading a mystery story, the details in the story can add up to help us draw an inference. So it's not really a guess. We're using things that we've read. We're using clues. I'll give you an example. If you stepped out of the house tomorrow, and you saw 3 people carrying umbrellas, what kind of inference could you make about the weather?
That it was rainy or cloudy.
Yeah.
That
That it was rainy or it might rain. Yeah. So you took the clue of, wow, I just saw 3 people walking by with umbrellas.
It's probably going to be rainy. I should go get my umbrella.
Exactly. So you drew an inference from the information or the clues that you got, and you were able to figure something out. So that's what we do when we read, especially a mystery story, is we take the clues that we're reading in the story and we can come up with, an idea or an inference about the story. So today we're going to practice that with this reader's theater script. It's called The Case of the Ringing Doorbell. Okay, so I'm going to draw sticks out for everybody to choose who's going to... There's a narrator, Mookie, Mrs. Martinez, Boo, and I think those are all the characters. So I'm going to draw sticks. So you're either a watcher or a reader. And the watchers, you will all have these mystery and inference reader's theater sheets to write down clues. There's room for 6 clues, but you can turn it over if you need more, okay? All right. Would you like to be the narrator, Mookie, Mrs. Martinez, or Boo? I'm drawing sticks for people, but...
The narrator.
You want to be the... It's not as big of a part as you might think. Why don't we just split them in half? Since it's just me and you? You could be the narrator and Mookie, and I'll be Mrs. Martinez and Boo.
Okay.
Will that be easy enough to remember? Mm-hmm. If we were doing this in a regular classroom, obviously we'd have several people doing this with us.
Alright.
So.
Can I answer?
Yes. And we're thinking while we're reading, we can either wait till the end and reread it on our own, or you can be writing down clues as you find them.
Okay.
All right.
Mookie and Boo are the code names used by 2 young detectives who help solve crimes in their neighborhood. When John's cat Charlie vanished, Mookie and Boo solved the case and found Charlie. And then there was the time that Matthew's basketball disappeared. Again, it was Mookie and Boo who got to the bottom of things and found it. The newest investigation involves the entire neighborhood. It started on a Monday, when Mrs. Martinez went to answer her door and found no one was there. So far, everyone on the block is claiming that the same thing happened then. The doorbell rang, and when they went to answer the door, no one was there. The only sign was a cutout letter of the alphabet, just one single letter. They are determined to solve this case. Their 8th stop is Mrs. Martinez's house. Okay, Mrs. Martinez, tell me what happened after you heard the doorbell ring.
I was baking some cookies when I heard the doorbell ring. When I got to the door, no one was there. I went outside and looked around, but I didn't see anyone. When I headed back inside, I found this just outside my door. Boo. An L? Somebody left you that letter L, Mrs. Martinez? Does your first name begin with an L? My name is Mary Louise. L for Louise. Mookie, let's make a note of this in our clue log.
Got it. Thank you, Miss Martinez. We'll get back to you.
Let's pause the story. So do you think maybe that's something we should write down in our clue logs?
She had an L for Louise.
So Mrs. Martinez is Mary Louise. And there was an L on what?
L for Louise.
Somebody left her the letter L, just the letter L.
On her doorstep.
Okay. So let's see. I gotta keep it straight. I'm Boo and Mrs. Martinez, so. And then you said, got it, thank you, Mrs. Martinez. We'll get back with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So far we have an L, an A, and a B, and an E, and a P, 2 S's, and a K. What's your guess?
It could be anything, but I think
Hold on, let's write those clues down.
L, A, B, E, P, S, S, K. S, S.
Okay. All right. What's your guess?
It could be anything, but I think that somebody's sending a message. I can feel it. So far, we can spell the words ale, bake, bakes, yes, tab, and tabs. It just doesn't make sense. Let's go speak to the Millers. All day, Mookie and Boo rang doorbells and spoke to almost everyone on the block. The Laytons were at church. The young couple, Yvonne and Alan, were out of town, as was Tony, the neighborhood handyman. More letters were found, and they added an N. Can we write this down? An N, a P, an M, an O, an S, 2 I's to their list. Now they had more word combinations, including nap, yap, sap, map, and lap. The puzzle was getting bigger.
I don't get it. Who would ring a doorbell just to leave a letter of the alphabet? And not just any letter. Pete received a P, Natasha an N, and Sonia an S.
Another S? That makes 3 S's. When Yvonne and Alan return, I wonder if they'll receive a Y or an A. This is getting really interesting.
What do you mean by that? I think it's weird.
Let's make a list of what happened on Monday. All the usual stuff and anything unusual. I had to clean my room.
You clean your room? Yeah, that's pretty unusual.
Very funny. And quit interrupting. I didn't get out of the house until after lunch, when my mom reminded me that my library books were due. So that's where I spent my afternoon.
I was out walking Mrs. Smith's 3 dogs at 7 o'clock in the morning. Her new puppy, Libby, wanted to sniff everything, so it took a while. I saw some early joggers plus a few people leaving for work.
Meet me at the library in an hour. I'm going to check on something real fast, and then I'll see you there. Mookie suddenly remembered something she had seen in the library on Monday. Miss Broody, the librarian, had been wheeling something on her cart. She also had quite a bit of construction paper and some spare wooden things. On her way to the back office, she had thrown away a small stack of papers. When Mookie walked by the trash can, she saw what looked like a stencil of a flower. So she reached in and pulled it out. Up in her room, Mookie grabbed that stencil and headed out to the library to meet Boo.
Okay, let's stop for a minute. Do we need to write down another clue?
I think one of our clues should be that I have a suspect.
But what is the actual clue?
Miss Broody had quite a bit of construction paper,
Okay.
and she had a cutout of a flower.
Okay, so write that down. Let's all stop and write that down quickly. Okay. All right, so we're going to finish reading the story, and then you guys are going to go off and write down some more clues with a partner. Okay? So we got the stencil, and I'm Boo, right? Why all the secrecy? Did something else happen?
Look at this.
What is it?
It's a cutout of a flower.
So what?
I think we will have this case solved soon. Just follow me. Hello, Miss Broody. What are you working on?
I was just going to finish working on my bulletin board. My display items have disappeared.
What kind of items were they?
Oh, just some patterns I was working on. I'm doing a display for our summer reading program.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Broody, can you tell us what your patterns look like?
Who should be Miss Broody? Me?
I had some spy stuff, a spyglass, a camera, a Sherlock Holmes silhouette, and some book patterns. Why?
Is there anything else you can think of that you're missing?
Well, actually, the only thing missing were the letters. Look at the bulletin board. The rest of my patterns are up there.
Okay.
Letters, like in alphabet letters? Yeah, how'd you guess? I cut out letters to spell out this year's theme for the reading program.
Mookie and Boo looked at each other Mookie and Boo looked at each other and then looked back at the bulletin board. There were clues all over the bulletin board. There was that Sherlock Holmes silhouette, the spyglasses, the sleuth hat, and the magnifying glass. The only thing missing were the letters.
Can you guess what the theme is just by looking at the display?
Are you going to tell us?
No, I'm going to let our summer readers guess what it is.
Things were coming together fast, with another B, 2 S's, 2 more O's, and another T. Another I. Should we write that down? Should we write that down, Mom?
Well, let's finish the story, and then you can start. Writing down some of the last clues. But why don't you circle that on your script? Okay. Did you finish your narrator part?
No. Mookie and Boo were on their way to discovering the theme of the summer reading program, and they eventually did. What they couldn't figure out was who actually rang the doorbells and left the letters at the door.
Hey.
Sorry.
That's okay. Hey, Mookie. I just remembered something unusual about Monday morning. You know Mrs. Broody, the librarian? I saw her walking down the sidewalk in our neighborhood carrying a small bag. She was wearing a t-shirt that said Mission Impossible. Or that's what I thought it said. I couldn't read what was on the back. When she saw me, she waved, and I could have sworn she was holding something in her hand. And she was walking to Yvonne and Alan's house. Do you know what I think? I bet she was holding a Y.
Can you guess what the back of Miss Broody's t-shirt said? That's the end.
Okay, so your job is to write down the rest of the clues to fill in number 5 and 6 on your sheet here. And then you and your partner can write what you infer about this mystery.
Okay.
So you're doing this with your partners.
Well, I saw this in here in the narrators area.
I can be your partner too.
B, 2 S's. Oh, 2 more O's, so I gotta add another O. And another I, so BSSOOI. So now we need a 6th clue. Let's see. The front of her t-shirt said Mission Impossible.
So that might be... Yeah, I'm going to walk around and let me know if you have any questions.
You wanna walk around then?
Well, you're my only student technically, so. But I would be walking around to check on partners right now.
So that is our 6th clue.
The front of Mrs. Brody's t-shirt said Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll give you and your partner some time to look over the possibilities.
Will you be my partner?
Sure.
The question says, what can you infer about this mystery? And I infer that Miss Broody was the one that put all those letters on people's doorsteps.
The one she said were missing? Do you think she did that? Do you think she did that to make people more interested in the Summer Reading Program? To make a mystery?
Yes, I do.
Maybe we can solve what the back of her t-shirt said. If
Maybe.
we know the front of it said Mission Impossible, how can we use that to narrow down what the back of her t-shirt said?
Maybe the back of her t-shirt also said Mission Impossible, like double back. Or maybe it said Mission Impossible Summer Reading Program. Because we infer that the theme of the reading program was mystery.
Okay. If she used the words Mission Impossible on the front of her shirt, could we maybe take those letters out of the, like...
Can I try?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to do it on the back of this page. First, I'm going to write all of the letters down.
Okay, that sounds like a good way to solidify it. I think you're on the right track.
I can't do that because there's not another M. If I were to cross out all of them, Mission Impossible, there's only one M. Should I just see anyway?
Well,
Mission impossible. No,
what are you left with?
BASNO. Baso. Sabo. Sabo.
Okay. So if you want to come up and read this for your group, what you think some important clues were, and then what you and your partner inferred about the mystery.
Okey-dokey.
Okay.
So are you my partner?
You can go ahead and read for us.
Okay, so I think that all these letters have to do with something. And we can go back to the clues about all the Sherlock Holmes or something.
Yeah.
And wasn't Sherlock Holmes a detective or?
Yes.
But what was one of the things that was up there?
What do you mean?
On her board, Miss.
She had a.
What are the things?
She had a spyglass, a camera, Sherlock Holmes silhouette, and some book patterns. So books.
So I'm thinking she had a spyglass and a book up there. And it's a reading program.
Okay.
And the thing is probably mystery or something.
Okay. So what did you guys put the letters together to figure out?
Yeah, I did. And we did some things like mystery and stuff. And other words. But we did spy a book. And that actually...
So are you saying the back of her shirt
said spy a book?
Okay. Well, I heard you guys talking about how it couldn't be Mission Impossible because there was only
one
M. So you made it Mission Possible, spy a book.
Yeah.
And that used up all the letters?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good inference, I'd say, from... So an inference isn't so much about guessing, is it? It's about...
using the clues around you.
Yes, to draw a conclusion, inference about, draw a conclusion about the information that you've been given, which is if the front of her shirt just said Mission Possible, the back of it could say spy a book.
Yeah.
And that makes sense to me, so I think it's a logical inference.
She's saying, it is possible for you to spy a book.
Well, thank you for sharing your clues and your inferences with me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.